Hey, um, full-on narrative shifting seminar now. Um, and everything that I go into now is meant to help you make a decision to enroll with us. But it's also meant to be of value. I really subscribe to the idea that marketing content should be so valuable that people would pay for your marketing. So I decided, a while back, like if I can teach you while I'm uh, encouraging you to enroll with us, that's a good thing for all of us. So let's get right to it. All right. So our narrative shifting seminars, that's the bulk of story formula. There are three of them. They're 8 weeks long. They're 8 modules long. They're a little longer calendar wise, but one of the so there's they have basically four parts to them. And the reason I'm bringing this to you is if you are enrolling in somebody else's program, um, I'm just going to tell you, this may sound arrogant, but I think we have the best one because I've been doing this a while, but also because there's a lot of thought put into this. So a lot of thought and experience. So the first thing is there's a little bit of content. The reality is that for growth to actually happen, you have to learn something new. You have to your concepts have to expand. And that's something that people don't appreciate. Like, content is a part of intellectual fitness. And I think, that's part of why I never worry about, am I going to run out of things to teach? Because, I have a PhD in clinical psych, so I have plenty to teach here. We don't even come close to teaching all what we could, but you should be in a program that has some science-based content. And then the second thing that we do in each of the narrative shifting seminars, so the seminar is 8 weeks long, and each of these classes are 90 minutes. So we do journaling, and the journaling has to do with questions basically that you can't think of. And I'm not saying they're hard to think of. Questions that you can't think of are usually because it's based in content that you just now got exposed to. It's not meant to be an insult, but that's part of why you can't do it. You just haven't thought of it. The difference between journaling that is prompted with questions that I can think of, but that you can't think of because this content is not new to me. It will be new to you. So, and these always change. So my humble opinion, my questions get better and better. Then there's the whole aspect of dialogue. Now, one of the things that happens in training is that people will say, well, we're going to put you into breakouts and then we're going to have you talk with each other. But nothing wrong with that. But questions, again, that you can't think of is part of it, that I can because I know the content. That's part of it. The second part of it is that there's a not so subtle, teaching of how to talk. I know how to talk, how to listen. And you might think this is simple. If it was simple, everybody would be doing it. These are a little hard. So anyway, we do that. And then the fourth thing is we all get together for Q&A. So we come back together. So we're in the main room in a Zoom call. This is usually, the main room is left on and people are just quietly journaling with their journal. And then, go into breakouts with questions for you to think about and some support for how to talk and listen. Both of those are super important, how to do both of them. And then we come back together as a group for Q&A related to that. And basically, these are really Ask Me Anything Q&As. And we do this over the course of 90 minutes. And that's about, the 90 minutes, there we go. The 90 minutes for the most part flies by for just about everybody, including me. And so these are so valuable that what we do is, I mean, what I ask of people is set this much time aside weekly. And what's the promise if you can do that? Well, with how we approach this, 90 minutes in 2022, if you set 90 minutes aside weekly for your personal development, for your marriage strengthening, and for your financial integrity, and this is what we're working on, getting above the line, getting your relationships in order, your love life in order, getting your money in order. And we do this 90 minutes at a time over the course of the year. 8 of these for that, 8 for that, 8 for that. So there are 24 of them. And then in between, we have Q&As that are, the whole meeting is a Q&A. We have this is kind of private work, right? So some of these Tuesdays we do some private work, or just they're sort of work alongs and integration, and others they're just ask me anything Q&As. At any rate, it's a really good design. This is an incredibly good methodology. It's a good design, and if you are doing some sort of a do-it-yourself program, see if you can replicate that somehow. See if you can replicate that. The hard part, honestly, and this is why I just don't get too threatened by somebody stealing my work. I'm pretty good at question design, and I'm pretty good at leading people into creating community around how to talk with each other. So, okay, try to replicate that for yourself. It's a pretty good methodology. If you can't replicate it, this is why the invitation to join Story Formula is here for you.